My beloved Elizabeth, I write to you again, though I've had no late letter from your hand to answer. Do not set this down to trouble you, for I know the mails are uncertain, and there are many hindrances in these times. Yet I cannot keep my thoughts from you, so I take this quiet hour, such as it is, send you a few lines. You may know I am still preserved, that my heart is still yours. The summer has come in with a heavy heat. The air lies close about the tents, and there are days when a man's shirt clings to him as if it would not let go. The nights, too, are full of noises. Insects in the grass and the brush, and sometimes a cry from the timber that makes a man sit up before he knows he has done it. There's no true rest in such weather. If a man sleeps, it is light sleep, and he wakes as if he had been called. When I can, I read over again the last letter I had from you. Do not read it with the same ease as once I read your letters, for my mind will not stay where I would have it stay. But even so, your words are a comfort to me. Since I wrote you last, the camp has grown thinner, not only in numbers, but in spirit. Some have been sent off with details, and some have been taken by sickness, and some have gone in the manner you already know. There are fewer voices about the fire. Men sit and look into the coals as if they watch something there. When a laugh rises, it dies quickly. The talk runs out, and leaves silence that no one seems eager to break. I do not know whether it is a long strain of war, or the heat, the news that comes to us from every quarter. But there is a heaviness here that is not of one man only, but of many. We have heard of great matters far off, and the tidings are no such as cheer our hearts. There's talk of Vicksburg and of armies in Virginia, and of hard fighting near to us as well, in the Indian Territory, where it is said our forces have met with ill success. Men hear such reports, and their faces grow older in a single moment. Even those who do not understand the movements of armies understand loss, and sense of being pressed in from all sides. You will look to see what I say of Caleb, for I know he has been much in your thoughts, as he is in mine. I cannot write his name without feeling that old pain rise fresh. There has been no word of him. None. No man has come in saying he saw him upon the road. No scout has found sign of him that can be trusted. The officers speak less of desertion now, for it is hard to keep a plain name upon a thing that refuses to be plain. The chaplain prays for him in public as one lost, and in private speaks to me as if he fears Caleb will never return. Try not to let my mind run ahead of what I know, yet there are nights when I wake with the thought of him so sharp, as like a hand upon my throat. I have written to his mother. I did it at last, though my hand shook. I cannot tell her what I do not know, so I told her only that Caleb had been set upon the outer line, they had not come in, and that all that could be done had been done. Told her he was brave and faithful. Told her he was loved by all who knew him. It is a poor letter to send into a home, Elizabeth. Felt as if I were carrying a burden on another man's back, and yet it was my duty. When I sealed it, I sat a long time with my head in my hands. I do not remember what I thought then, only then I felt emptied. Since Caleb went, there has been a change in me that I do not like to confess. Yet I must confess it to you, for if I keep it shut up, I fear it will grow. At times I find myself answering a man as if I were half asleep, no warmth in the words. More than once I had seen the look on another's face, as if he wondered what he had done to offend me, when I had no anger at all. It's not that I wish to be cold. It is that, for a moment, there's nothing in me to give. Afterward, I am ashamed, and I force myself to speak kindly, and to remember that a man may be fighting a great battle within himself while he stands beside you. Yet it troubles me that such moments come at all. I do not keep good count of days as I once did. One day seems like another, and then suddenly some small thing will make me see how much time has passed. A man will speak of a death that happened 3 weeks ago, and I will have thought it nearer. Or I will hear that a detachment went out last month. It seems to me it was only yesterday. I try to hold my mind steady with duty. I rise when called. I stand my watch. I eat what is set before me. I speak to the chaplain and read a little when I can. Yet, it is as if my thoughts run off, not always to any great fear, but to a dull place where nothing seems worth the effort of thought. That is the worst of it. It is not a sharp terror, but a desire to give up and be still. I have told myself, again and again, that this is only grief and weariness, and perhaps it is. A man who has seen what we have seen and lost what we have lost must feel something. I would not have you think I'm proud of being steady. I'm not steady. I'm held up, and I know it. Yet I cannot escape the sense that something more than common grief is at work among some of the men, because I have watched it spread. One will receive bad tidings and weep and speak and be eased, as a man should. Another will receive bad tidings and say nothing, and from that day grow quieter, till he no longer rats, no longer laughs, no longer looks any man in the eye. He will do his duty, yes, and he will do it well, but there will be no man in it, only the shadow of one. There are more of those now than there were in the spring. Do not call them by any name in open talk. Men avoid naming a thing they fear, as if the name itself might draw it near. Yeah, we all see them. They rise at the first call. They go out on the worst details. They take the picket without complaint. They stand in the heat as if they do not feel it. They move when ordered and halt when ordered. They do not quarrel. They do not seek comfort. They do not speak of home. If one of them is spoken to, he answers in a few words, civil enough, but with no laugh. I've seen an officer look upon such a man with satisfaction, say he is a model soldier. Cannot join in that praise. I'd rather have a man with fear in him and love in him than a man who has neither. There is another thing, Elizabeth, which I have not told you plainly before, because I hoped it would pass, and I did not know how to set it down without sounding like a man carried away by imagination. Yet it has happened more than once now, and so I will speak of it. There are times, most often at night, when the common sounds of camp seem to grow thin, as if they were farther off than they ought to be. A man will be on watch and hear the river, and hear the insects, and hear the shifting of horses. And then, for a little space, it is as if the air itself holds its breath. At such a moment, the timber looks nearer. The dark under it seems to draw the eye. I have felt, in those moments, a strong impulse to step away from the light and go toward it. Not with any clear purpose, but as if going would be easier than staying. I have not done it. I write this with thankfulness that I have not done it. Yet I'm ashamed to tell you how natural the impulse feels when it comes. How reasonable it seems for a breath or two. As if a man had only to rise and go, and all struggle would end. Once, on a late watch, I thought I heard my name spoken low. It was not loud, nor clear. It might have been the wind. It might have been some man shifting and speaking in sleep. Yet the sound of it went through me, and I felt my feet move before I gave them leave. I stopped myself, and I stood very still, and I did what the Indian elder warned me to do. I did not answer. I spoke to another man on the line, so I was not alone with it. We exchanged a few common words, and the feeling passed, but afterward my hand shook, and I hated myself for it. I have seen others troubled in the same fashion. A man will wake and sit up, staring toward the timber, and when spoken to, he will say he thought he heard something. Another man will stand at the edge of the firelight longer than is wise, and then start as if he had been caught at a fault when called back. Few have been found walking in their sleep, and brought in with no recollection in the morning. All this might be set down to nerves and to the heat, and perhaps that is the whole of it. Yet when I think of the men who have gone, and the musket left behind, and of the tracks that lead into the trees that are lost. I cannot persuade myself that all is as simple as it should be. I do not go often near the Indian camp, but I see them at times, and I've come to believe they understand more than we do. Not in the way of books, but in the way of men who have lived along with these woods. Some nights when I've been coming off duty, I've seen one standing apart watching the timber with a stillness that makes me uneasy. Once I passed near enough that he looked at me, and he said, very quietly, the same warning I'd already heard from their elder, in broken English, words I have not forgotten. He said, "Do not answer," and he turned away. I did not ask him more, could not have spoken if I'd wished to. His words were not spoken my counsel only, but lack warning. I try, as you've often told me, not to nurse my thoughts alone. I speak with the chaplain when I can, and I force myself to sit among the men, even when I'd rather be by myself. It is a strange thing, Elizabeth, that a man may hunger for solitude, and yet solitude be the very thing that harms him. When I feel myself drawing away, I strive to do the opposite. I make myself speak. I make myself ask another after his people. I make myself answer when spoken to with kindness, not with that flatness that sometimes creeps upon me unawares. It is work. I did not think it would ever be work for me to be myself. Yet so it is. And still, I hang on. I hang on because I believe the Lord is not absent, even when my feelings tell me he is. I hang on because I know what you would say to me if you stood here, and because I do not wish, if God grants we meet again in this world, to come to you as a man emptied of all the things you love. I hang on also because I have your last letter, because I can still see your hand before my eyes when I close them. There are moments when I feel I have only strength enough to read a line of scripture and whisper a prayer, but even that is strength. It keeps a man from sinking. I will not burden you with more. I've already written too freely, perhaps. Yet you have always been my safest place, and if I cannot speak truly to you, I know not where truth may be spoken at all. Write when you can. I do not ask it as a command, but as a comfort. Your words have a way of bringing me back to myself. Give my love to your mother, and my respectful remembrance to your father. Remember me kindly to all who inquire after me. Tell them that I strive still to do my duty, and to keep my mind and heart from falling into that silence which has swallowed so many of the man. I'll now close, for the candle is low, and I must be ready for duty. May the Lord keep you and bless you, and grant that in his mercy we may yet see peace. Till it shall please God to bring us together again, I remain, as ever, your true and affectionate husband, Nathaniel.